Welcome back to the Poker Vlogs. This is episode 6 and we are going to a home game. I was invited to play at a home game tournament. So first tournament of the vlog, so very excited. We get into some pretty cool spots. We go on some nice little heaters, go on some dry streaks, and I'm really excited to show you guys what it's all about. So let's get right into it. This is John, the host of the night. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. As I walked in, I was greeted with nothing but smiles and a sweet 2-table setup. He was also nice enough to make us some dank chili in this ginormous pot, and you know I had to have 3 bowls of this goodness. Enough of the food, let's get right into some poker action. The way this tournament went, you buy in for $50. This includes a $5 bounty that every player is going to have. So if you knock somebody out, you get their chip and it's worth $5 that you get to cash out at the end. Everybody gets 20,000 in chips, starting with blinds being 5,100 to go in the first level. Camera angle is a little bit weird on this hand, but don't worry, the rest of them will be fixed. For the first hand of the night, we have King 10 of diamonds, and just trying to get a groove, I limped. I probably should have raised, but I was really nervous since I haven't played in a tournament in a long time. Under the gun, it also limped. The small blind completes and the big blind checks. 4 ways to a flop. We see queen 4-9, all diamonds. We smash this flop. All 3 players check it over to me, and I'm going to check it back for deception. The turn comes the queen of clubs, where the big blind bets 200, under the gun calls, and it's time to raise it up, my boys. I choose a sizing of 1,000, and everyone folds. It seems like maybe I could have gotten a little bit more value, but glad to take down the first pot to ease some nerves. Just a couple hands later, we have ace queen of spades in the big blind. With 5 limps to me, I have to raise this up to 1,000 just to hopefully thin out the field, and everyone folds. Can't be too upset with that. But not only getting a premium this hand, we get a premium the very next hand, and we have pocket Denny's. In the small blind with pocket aces, I raised to 300 since everyone folded to me, and the big blind folds as well, so can't be too upset with just taking home a couple of pots. This next hand is really important as I'm able to pick up a lot of tendencies that one player does, and you guys will be able to see a little bit here. I'm in the small blind just one orbit later with ace queen of hearts, where the cutoff is a little bit hesitant but raises to 500. A tight button player makes the call. This is a slam dunk 3-bet where I make it 1,700. In hindsight, I could be sizing up a little bit more. The cutoff, who originally made the raise, he is a little bit in the tank about if he wants to make the call, where I think I definitely have him beat. He could have any suited connectors, a low pocket pair, or anything of the sort. But eventually he does make the call. Button calls as well, and we're going to be seeing a flop, which is king 8 deuce rainbow. Knowing this smashes my range, especially with a king out there, I could easily have ace king, pocket kings, pocket queens, pocket aces, anything of the sort, where I could definitely be ahead on this board a lot of the time. I'm going to c-bet 1,700, knowing the cutoff would fold unless he smashed this flop even harder. I was right, as he makes the fold, and so does the button. So just really important to pick up a little bit of tendencies on your opponents and pay attention to what they're doing. So far, we're up about 4,000 to 5,000 from starting stack. The next hand wasn't too crazy. I finally picked up a hand about an hour later and 2 levels had passed. I have pocket kings in middle position where an under the gun player limps for 400. I raised to 1,100. He calls, and a board came out 10-8-4 with 2 diamonds. I continued for 1,500 and he folded, so at least chipping up a little bit there. Next up, we have ace 10 offsuit on the button. The hijack and cutoff both limp for 400. I raised to 1,600, and now the hijack goes all in for 6,700.
You saved me.
It is a pretty hand. All in. But I don't think it's worth that much. Nice race. Cutoff gets out of the way, and I wasn't super comfortable with this spot. Maybe with ace jack and above, I'd be making the call here, but I don't know. Let me know if it was a nip fold in the comments, but I got away, and we don't know what he had. All right, so chiming in here a little bit for the next 2 hands. I tried to find the footage, but I didn't have it, so here I am in my backyard. So we're just gonna have to go over the hands like this. So here we are in the hijack. I have queen 10 of spades. Under the gun +2 raises it to 1,200. I make the call. He has a stack of just about starting, so 20,000. I had about 23, 24,000 in my stack. Flop comes jack 6-9 2 spades. We have the flush draw, 1 over, and we're open-ended. So he continues out for 2,000. I made the call. Probably should be raising this as I have so much equity on this board, and even if I'm up against something like pocket jacks, like the nuts or an overpair, whatever, I still have 40 to 50% equity to win this hand. So yeah, I just made the call for 2,000. The turn comes the 4 of diamonds, and he continues now for 3,000. I raise to 7,000, and he goes all in for a total of 13,000. I think somewhere around that ballpark, 13 or 15,000. I already have so much money in this pot as well. I have a lot of equity, so I just make the call. The river comes the ace of diamonds, and we brick out and we get crippled. He flips over pocket kings, and I just tap the table and I told him, hey man, good hand, and we go on to the next. Right after that hand, we have pocket fives coming back from break in the small blind with 3,100 in our stack. Middle position raises to 2,000. The low jack makes the call, and I go all in for 3,100. Both players are going to make the call, and we're seeing a flop 3 ways of queen, 4, 5, 2 clubs, and we hit a set. Thank God. I just hope we can hold. Let's see what happens. On the flop, the middle position jams. He goes all in for about 20-something thousand, covering the other player. Low jack gets out of the way, and we flip over our cards. I have a set. He has pocket kings. We just got to hold here. Turn comes the ace of clubs, and the river is the 7 of diamonds. We triple up. We are back in this. Coming back to the normal table action, I have queen jack offsuit in the low jack. Under the gun limps. I limp as well for 1,000. The button limps as well, and the big blind checks. We're going 4 ways to a flop, which comes ace, king, king, 2 hearts. Big blind checks on the flop, so does under the gun. I'm going to check as well, and so does the button. The turn comes the 9 of hearts, and it's going to check around once again. So we're looking like we might have the best hand here, hoping no one really has a 9. But then when the queen of clubs comes out on the river, no matter what, I was going to go all in here. The big blind now bets out for 2,000. Under the gun calls, and I'm sticking to my plan, even if they would have checked to me. I just wanted to take down the pot. Button gets out of the way. The big blind now tanks and eventually makes the call. Under the gun folds, and we flip over our queen jack, and we're up against another queen. He has queen 8 offsuit, and we're going to chop this pot. The stack has slowly been bleeding away the next couple of orbits, but here we are on the small blind, finally with a hand to go all in with. Ace queen of diamonds. After the low jack raises to 2,000, I bump it up to 7.4 thousand and go all in. He quickly makes the call with pocket 3s, and we're going heads up to a race. The flop comes jack 10, 5, 2 spades. We just have 2 overs and a gut shot to a straight. The turn comes the 6 of clubs. It's looking pretty grim. With only 10 outs to save us, can we hit our 1 time?
Oh, always an ace on the river. Always an ace on the river.
The river is the ace of clubs. We hit a 10-outer on him, and we double up. We are still in this tournament, barely. 1 orbit later, and blinds going up to 600, 1,200. We're in under the gun +1, and we're looking down at ace 9 suited. With having just over 15,000 in my stack, I felt that I could raise and not go all in, just because I wanted to maybe get some value from a hand like this, since I had a rather tight table. I raised to 2,500. The low jack is the only caller. We're going heads up to a flop, which is ace 4, 2, 2 hearts. I continue to bet for 1,800. He makes the call. The turn comes the 4 of diamonds, and knowing he could have any sort of weaker ace, or he could have a draw since there are 2 hearts out there, I just go all in for 11.3 thousand. He makes the call covering me, and we're going heads up to a river. But before that, he shows what he has, and he has king, queen of hearts. We're looking pretty good. In the river comes the ace of hearts, giving him a flush, putting a dagger in our heart, and that's going to wrap up our tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And he
Oh, my God.
nice hand. Oh, wait a minute.
No, he's got a full house.
Oh, it's a full house.
He's got a full house.
shit.
That's what I was saying.
Then we came to realize that that heart didn't matter, and it actually boated us up, and we take this one down. I totally misread this board, as once I saw a heart on the river, I thought he had a flush, and we end up taking this down. Whew! Skidding by in this tournament. Here we are back again because the footage for this hand is gone. My apologies, but we have ace 10 offsuit in the hijack. Blinds were either 600, 1200 or 700, 1400, and I raise it up to 3200. The button goes all in for 5700. I make the snap call. He has 6-7 suited and we're off to the races. The flop comes ace 8-4. We got top pair and we're looking good. All he really has is a gut shot to a straight and some backdoor draws. The turn comes the 10 of clubs and the river comes the jack of hearts. We're chipping up yet again. Just like the last hand, we're gonna have to go over again because the next two, we don't have the footage for it. So here we are on the button with ace queen of diamonds. An action player jams for about 9,000 total, and having him covered, I rejam for about 40,000 total. Everybody else folds, and we're going heads up to a flop, which comes queen high. We are looking good against pocket sixes. The turn and river are both going to blank out, and we're taking down our first bounty of the night, and we have about 49,000 in front of us. Blinds are now 800, 1600, and the cutoff raises to 3500. I'm on the button with pocket nines. I make the call. Heads up to a flop. We get 3, 5, 6, all diamonds. He checks it over to me. I bet out for 3500, and he makes the fold. So we are still chipping up in this tournament. 2 hands later, I have pocket kings. I raise it up and everyone folds. So we take down even a little bit more of this coinage. The next couple of hands, I don't have the footage and it became really fuzzy how we ended up to where we are at now. So I have a really low stack. I was just bleeding from the blinds. We were only playing about 6-handed and I just couldn't seem to pick up a hand. And every time I seem to have something decent, like suited connectors, there was just not much that I can do. I was playing against some really tight players and it seemed like they kind of just had it. And this hand I'm about to go over is basically the only thing that I really had from it. With about 32,000 in our stack, we have ace 10 of clubs on the button. I decided to raise it up to 8,000 with blinds being 2,000, 4,000. Yeah, that's right. Each level was 30 minutes and I couldn't pick up a hand in that long. We finally had something here.
Raise to 8.
All in.
Before I can even get my chips into the middle, the small blind player, who is extremely tight, immediately goes all in and he has this covered. It folds back over to me and kind of just sitting in agony. I knew I was beat. I wasn't comfortable with it. I think there's a reason he was jamming so fast on me. He was showing some type of strength and I felt it and I knew it. And you know what? I folded. I was out of there. I said, peace. I just didn't think I was going to be good here, even though I know a lot of you guys, especially with my stack size, would 1,000,000% be calling. I made the fold, and I was able to get it out of him that he had pocket jack, so we were definitely beat there, but you never know what could have happened, but we got away from it. With my stack getting eaten alive and still 6 players left at the table, blinds are still at 2,000, 4,000, and I have 25,500 chips sitting in front of me. I look down at queen 8 of clubs and go all in and take down the blind. So we're at 37,500 right before the final table hits. We're crippled, but we made it. Final table, baby. Final table is announced. We take a small break where the man hosting the tournament, John, is going about recoloring up our chips. So we sit down all colored up, still with 37,500 in our stack, and we get straight into the action here pretty soon. We sit down in the cutoff position, only a few hands dealt in, and we have ace 8 offsuit. It folds to me, and I jam all in looking to steal the blinds, but if someone makes the call, especially someone to my left with a smaller stack, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. So I go all in and the small blind says, he makes the call with ace queen completely dominating us, but at least we have him covered by 12,000. Let's sweat it out. Uh-oh.
I just want to...
Oh.
Woo!
Still have outs.
Hold up.
We got outs.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Can you see it? You have that wide angle type thing.
Oh, here we go. How about that, man? All right.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Oh, double down there.
Let's see what we got here.
A 7 or a jack will split the pot.
Oh.
3 4s, ace queen.
Yep. Ace queen cripples us even harder. But not only that, I need to go out with a bang just in case I don't go out well with my last 2 big blinds.
Queen
I think you're the worst dealer. We fold all the way to the under the gun position where we finally pick up something decent to go all in with.
Well, the state passed it, John. It's just
12,000.
Congress has to.
Come at me.
I even threw in some fighting words to induce a call. Let's see if it works. We have pocket eights and 2 of them call, so I guess it worked out to some degree. Let's see a run out.
He doesn't do it either.
Oh, wow.
Check.
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 Check on the 5.
Ooh, I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta check.
Yeah. Check.
I got nothing.
See what we got.
I got pocket eights.
Oh, it's 5.
Dude,
Good
you're a
job.
boss. You
All
win.
right, cool. Chip in a chair.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but we ended up winning with pocket eights there, and we're hanging on by a dingleberry at this point. The very next hand, we pick up 6-9 of diamonds in the big blind. I'm up against the same 2 players as last hand, as the low jack and small blind limp it over to me, and I check my option. Going to a flop, I have 31,000 in my stack, and the blinds are at 2,000, 4,000. The flop comes king 8-2, 2 hearts. The small blind checks it to me, I check, and so does the low jack. Still 3 ways, we see a turn, which is the 7 of diamonds. When the small blind checks it over to me, it's time to make some moves with my low stack, and I overbet the pot, just trying to take it down.
Yeah, no, not anymore.
All in.
Fucking nothing now.
All in.
Oh, shit.
Jeremy's got the 7 deuce.
32.
32, yes sir.
32?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
It's great that he thought that the bet was a lot of money, because that was the point of it, just trying to overbet the pot to get a lot of king X's or any other type of draw to fold, and even if he did make the call, we would still have a little bit of equity coming on this river. He eventually makes the call, the small blind gets out of the way, and we're going heads up to a river.
Oh, yeah.
You might get another one, though.
I'm on a draw. I'm open-ended.
It's got the big lick.
Give me a heart. I need a heart, bro.
Holy crap.
That's what I want.
I got live outs.
Do you want me to do it to you again?
Give me a heart.
Do you want me to do it to you again?
Give me a flush. Come on.
6, a 9, a 5, a 10.
Yep.
Oh.
Hey, flush.
Nice hand, nice hand, nice hand.
And a flush.
And the flush. The Queen of Hearts comes out on the river, giving him a flush and ending our tournament. It was a great run, and I tried my best. Can't be too upset with 9th place. Before we left, we grabbed our bounty money, and we headed on out to the car. Just got out of there. Thank you so much, John, for hosting. It was a lot of fun. I haven't played in a tournament in 3 or 4 months now. I used to go to tournaments weekly out in Tucson. And sorry if also the lighting is weird. I'm on some like random street here, so I just found some light around the road, so pulled over and was able to get this. And yeah, so it was a lot of fun. I think I played relatively well. I like to play pretty tight in tournament. I don't like to get too crazy. Yeah, I know I definitely should be playing a little bit stronger in some spots, and especially when everyone's playing really, really tight, kind of like they were tonight. It was a 6-hour tournament, and I was in for 50, out for $5. I got a bounty, so I got a couple bucks back. So, you know, not too bad, especially for my first tournament back. Made the final table out of the 2 tables, which was great. Just eventually had to go all in with the 6-9, I guess. I was open-ended. I was the shortest stack by far. And, you know, we had some live cards up until the river. So, yeah, did pretty well. And, yeah, that's it. So, again, thank you so much, John, for hosting. I will hopefully see you guys again soon. And I'll see y'all next time. Thanks. Just making a quick side note here at the end of the video towards the 10K challenge. We are now at positive 193. So we lost 45 bucks at this tournament. Not too bad. And also just throwing in a little thing here, just saying that I'm going to be at Talking Stick Resort in Phoenix, Arizona on December 4th. There may be another video in between that, but I just wanted to shout it out as early as possible. I'm just going, and I'm going to be playing some poker with my dad and some of his friends and visiting some of my girlfriend's family. It's going to be awesome. So looking forward to going then. And thank you guys again so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Super appreciate the support you guys have given me so far. So bye.